used to be in a band or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were Georgezilla.
Toured and stuff. Yeah, they used to call him Sleazy G or something. I don't get it. The Georgezilla Podcast. I run hot, always say this, but recently this weather has been super rainy and like I think the last time I looked at my phone to see what the weather was like, and this is at nighttime, and I think it said like 49 or 50. That's cool, you know. I don't mind that because I like to bundle up, you know, get my blankets and all that stuff, and I'm good. Today, though, it's in the 70s. It's like, let's see. Right now it says 77 with the highs of 78. Damn, in 30 minutes. Let's look at the rest of the week. Yeah, it's going to be, wow, it's going to go up to the 80s this week as well. All right, we'll see what happens. We'll see. I mean, I can handle it. Lagatha, on the other hand, she can handle it too, but she's just like kind of figuring out, you know, what works, and so am I, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night and she's bundled up like in her bed, you know, like just chilling or whatever, and sometimes she'll have the covers on. I always make sure to cover her, and I'll feel her, and she's warm, you know, but I've read online that if you touch their ears and their nose, and if it's cold, then, you know, they're cold. So I wake up all through the night, and I always check on her. You know, I always look. She doesn't sleep on my bed. She sleeps actually on this chair, like kind of off to the side. Like I said, half the time she's good, but I always cover up just in case. Because last thing I want is for her to be freaking cold, you know, and I'm over here fine, you know. All right, so this is a controversial topic, I think, for a lot of people. And controversial, I don't mean like, not in the way everyone thinks, I don't think, but this is on social media, okay? And I'm going to call this social media sleaze. So, social media isn't new. It's obviously not new. You know, there's people out there that have multiple social media pages, and it could be, you know, Twitter, one of the old schools, you know. Obviously, there was MySpace and all that. But Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is a big thing. I'm not on there. I was on Twitter back in the day. I don't even know how long ago it was. But I didn't know what it was, and I hardly used it. But it was in the very beginning. It was very interesting. I remember, like, one of my first tweets, I was saying something like, I'm in a mall, where should I go? And like all these random people responded, and I was like, I don't know if I like this, you know. Now everybody has Twitter, X, whatever, which I never thought that would happen, but it's cool, whatever. By the way, I'm so bummed about this coffee. So, as I've said before, I usually do like a shot of espresso, and then I do like a protein powder, and the most I'll do is I'll add some stevia in it if it's not sweet enough. Sometimes if I go to like Starbucks or Dutch Bros, their drinks are super sweet, and when I make mine, it's not even close. But I don't add sugar, I add stevia, you know. But I added some to this, but I used a creamer, Chobani creamer, and it was like what was it? Confetti cake, and man, I've had stuff like that before. It's delicious, but I don't know, it just didn't do it for me today. So maybe I need to add more. I'm not sure. I tried to do like one serving, and I ended up doing 2 servings because 1 serving is a tablespoon. That's not enough for me. So, but I'm bummed. It's still coffee though. It's still doing something. But yeah, let's get back to this social media sleaze, okay? Before I get into this, I'm not coming at this like I don't do any of these things with social media. I use social media, obviously. Just about everybody that does. There's a small percentage of people that are against it, and I'm kind of there with certain apps now. But I have things to see what's going on. I have certain things to see what's going on in the world because I don't watch the news. I watch I watch and read things that report the news, and I don't like sit there and be like, oh, this is what's going on. I read different things, and you have to come to your own conclusions, unfortunately, because everybody has some motive, right? Not. I've probably fell a victim to those motives before, just being like, "Oh shit, this is going on." And I'll give you an example. Last night I was on Instagram or something, and I'm gonna listen. I'm just social media. I'm gonna pull my phone up because rather than guessing what it said, I'm just gonna read it. And blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is off a page. Doctors. What is this? Long Doctor's longevity? I have no idea what this says. Anyways, there is a picture of a ham sandwich. And like I said, I'm not like, oh shit, this is what's going on. I just thought it was very interesting. And it says deli ham is now classified as a group 1 carcinogen, cancer causing by the World Health Organization. This is wild, okay? I don't know if this is true, but I read this. Doesn't surprise me. And it says group 1 is the same group as tobacco, asbestos, and arsenic. Great. Ham. Now, you know, I'm not going to go on social media and be like, oh shit, everybody recall their ham, don't buy ham and whatever. I mean, I don't know if this is true, but it doesn't surprise me. I remember being, I don't know, teen and just being like, you see all these commercials and you see all these ads for advertisements for medicine, and after it's like, oh yeah, this is for I don't know, depression or something like that. Then it says the list of all the side effects, and I'm just like, dude, like, I would not be surprised if one of these days on the news or whatever it says, toothpaste can cause cancer. And I remember about a decade ago, I had read something where it says that some toothpaste can cause cancer. So yeah, I mean, we all have vices. We all have things that probably make us sick, and they have they have other effects. But then the side effects, it's like it'll fuck you up. I know that's not about social media. I mean, it kind of is because like we read things, we see things, and some of us are very quick to believe it. But fortunately for me, I'm at the age where when the internet and I'll start with internet, but it goes into social media as well. It was the beginning of the internet. I was a kid living at home, and my mom, well, my stepdad was a super computer nerd. And back then, I mean, I played like video games, I skateboarded, like I always say, and we had a small little apartment. And no, actually, no, it was a house. Take that back. It was a house. I have lived in a bunch of apartments, so whatever. Um, yeah, I remember my stepdad coming home, and we had, like I said, a small home, nothing crazy. And in the kitchen, it was just like a long, narrow kitchen. I'm sure everybody has one or had one. And we had just a circle little table, and that we all ate there. Just a small circle. It was anything fancy. And there was enough seats for me, my stepdad, and my mom. And I remember coming home from school or practice, like, I don't know, like baseball practice, and I walk into the kitchen, and on that table that we all ate at was a computer, and I'm like, what the heck? I mean, I use computers just like everybody else at school. Oregon Trail, that was a banger. Oregon Trail. There's a lot of other ones as well, but Oregon Trail was fun. Apple computers. I use PCs for whatever. I mean, I went to Catholic private school. They had some good stuff, whatever. And anyway, short story long, I'm like, okay, we have a computer. I don't know what to do with it. I'm probably in grade school, and I didn't know what sites to go on. I had no idea, but my stepdad was very open with it. He's like, hey, you can go on here, and he made me make my own profile and stuff. And it was back with I had CompuServe, and you would get those discs in the mail, and it'd be like how many hours free of AOL. But I had CompuServe, and it was cheaper than AOL, and AOL ended up buying CompuServe. So now I still have AOL to this day. Crazy. Um, but my point of that is, the internet and all that computers was introduced when I was young, and it was a cool thing. It wasn't something that we looked at where like, oh, like what is this? Get away from it. And I know a lot of people like that. I know a lot of people that aren't good with technology, and it kind of makes sense, I guess, when you're born and when it got introduced to you. But it, like, take for example, someone like my dad. My dad doesn't like technology, and I have helped him with so many things, down to like his accounts and banking things, and paying bills and everything. He's just not good at it, and he does not want to learn. Um, Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. My dad was a longshoreman, and he was a crane operator. He operated transtainers, and I don't know how he can do that. Something like that would be, whatever. I think it'd be easier for me because I'm more intuitive with things like that, quick learner, and I played video games and all that stuff. Believe it or not, that stuff helps. Okay, but he was able to retire before technology and all that took over all the automation. And I'm not talking about automation and all that, but he made it. And I've always talked to him saying, what would you do if they took that job away from you? And there's tons of jobs down at the docks that he can do. I'm not saying he can't, but he said he would try to learn. I'm like, nope, nope, you're not. My dad's the type of guy that will call me or when I see him for lunch or something, and he always has his phone ready, and he's like, hey, so I was trying to do this, and I'm sure all our parents do that. God bless them. But he does not like change. So every time there's an update on his iPhone, he hates it. He thinks it's like the worst thing ever, and that's not what it's supposed to be. The updates are supposed to keep your phone working correctly. But every time there's an update, he's like, "Oh, should I do it? Should I do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. It's part of the. It's just like getting your oil change. It's just like doing a tune up on your car, or whatever. You have to keep it up to date, whatever that is. Even the new cars, they're all computerized. They have to have the new software, whatever the case is." But my dad's like, "Nope. I don't know if I want to do this. Last time I did that, it broke this, and yeah. Anyways, I'm not like that. I'm not anywhere near that. I actually embraced technology. And so, I mean, I think with my age, it just happened naturally. And one of the natural things that happened with me, besides, having AOL Instant Messenger and putting your emo away message, or putting whatever song you listen to, or in MySpace, doing all that stuff. I was addicted to MySpace, just like all my friends were. But for me and a lot of my buddies, it was more of like we utilize it. We utilize the internet and social media. We used it to get more fans, and it was free for the most part. I mean, you make a MySpace profile, costs you nothing, and you can put your music on there. You can put your shows. You can get shows booked. You can meet new artists. You can meet booking agents, labels, all the above. So I guess my generation learned to utilize the internet and social media. Um, I certainly did. I certainly do to this day. I mean, to me, it's like it's free advertisement, and if you do it correctly, oh, what did I just click? I hope I didn't do anything. Oh shit. um, but yeah, you just utilize it to do whatever you need to do, and that's what I did. I would always take care of the MySpace profiles, updating it, um, posting flyers, whatever the case was. We used social media. Um, Later bands, we used all of it, obviously Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, bands in town. Now everyone's using Apple Music, Spotify. There's so many apps out there. And like I said, you can take it how you want it. You can say, well, that, what do I have? Hold on.
That's what she said.
Yeah, okay. You can, I should reword that. That's not what I wanted to say. But what I meant to say was like you can take it as a good thing or a bad thing. That's what I meant. I swear. I try to take it as a good thing. Um, but there's obviously like negatives to it. There's like I don't know, like it just I guess it depends on how you look at it, but that's how I've always taken the internet and social media. But then you can let's fast forward to now, 2026. Social media is crazy. It's like um and I'll admit it, it's addicting. It's addicting. And I find myself grabbing my phone like for no reason, and I'll pick it up and I'll look and I'll be like, oh, someone messaged me or texted me, whatever, right? And people constantly do it. We're always on our phone. We always have a phone. If you don't have a phone on you, I don't want to say you're weird, but like it's I don't know. I mean, cool. I've had friends. I'm not gonna say any names, but I've had friends that have deleted and many accounts, many social media accounts. I'm always on social media, and I'm like, oh, so and so deactivated their account again, and then a week later they're back. And I've done stuff like that. I've definitely done that because I need breaks. And I'll give you a big example of social media breaks that I've taken. Like one of them is TikTok. TikTok, my God, I don't need to be on TikTok. I don't need to be on TikTok. And I started off going on there just to see slapstick comedy, just funny fart jokes, whatever. And it was just like one of those routines. And that's where it got kind of crazy. It was a routine that I had. You wake up in the morning, some people go make coffee, some people eat, some people run a mile, some people hit the snooze button. That's like me. Some people go straight to the bathroom. Okay. And I don't care. I'm regular, dude. I don't got a problem. All right. So you go sit on the pot. Everybody does, and what do? Right? Grab your phone. So I'll go on there and I would like, just stupid videos, whatever. And I would share you can call it shit posting. I shit post. But I try to keep it towards like a certain topic, music and just stupid stuff. I mean, whatever, I don't have to explain it, but that's what I do. And it's kind of like one of those things. It's like that dopamine, you go on there and you send a meme to one of your friends and you're like, oh man, because first of all, it's like you're thinking of your friend, you're like, oh, this person's gonna love this, they're gonna crack up. And I like that, it's I don't want to say it's like personal, but it's kind of personal. I think sharing stuff like that is good, good for friendships, and you can test your friendships too. You can send them really fucked up memes, and you're like, all right, I know this person's gonna laugh at that. Not saying we should, because there's some stuff I'm like, I should not be laughing at this. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. But you test friendships that way. You're like, let's see if I can go this far and post that. Um, it's a fun thing to do. And one of the things I really enjoyed. Sorry, I'm checking my time. Is sending them to my mom as well, because I know my mom goes on social media and she doesn't utilize it the same way. But she just watches whatever's on there, and if it's not what she likes, she's done. That's good. I wish I could do that, but then I'll go and search topics. I can go on YouTube and search one topic, and I'll just narrow it with this. I'll put like guitar pickups, like say I'm looking at like some Fishman or EMGs, and I can start on one video, and hours later I'm still watching, and I'm watching the fucking cat video. Okay. Okay. You could look at it as a waste of time, which I will agree with. There are a lot of times I'm on any social media app and I'm like, what am I doing? 10 videos into me on Instagram Reels, and I'm like, I'm going to bed. But yeah, since then I deleted my TikTok. Instagram is different than TikTok as far as the videos. I can control the algorithm better, which is what I'm doing now. So I actually like that because I was getting so stressed looking at Instagram, and you have people just like everyone's a reporter now. So it's like something happens in someone's city and they're reporting it, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. People are filming up close and personal to people, stealing clothes or just doing crimes and what. Like, okay, when you have TV and whatever, you're like, if you want to watch that type of stuff, go put on Cops. Go put on whatever you're gonna watch, like one of those PD shows. You have control over it. With the social media, you're just in a loop. You're just going, and like I said, I admit I do that, and I've had to stop myself because it was putting me in bad moods, uh, and it was bleeding out into the world, and I didn't like the person I was becoming. And to me, I try to at least try to utilize social media to get information, to learn things. I'll be go to the internet. There's different ways you can utilize things. Back on my last video, what I was saying, uh, I used to get guitar magazines to learn songs. Now you could, I mean, it's not just now, but for years, you could just Google or YouTube a specific song and someone will lay it out for you and show you how to play it. You could slow it down, you could speed it up, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's wild, and you can do that for anything. You don't know how to fix a plugged pipe, YouTube, man. I mean, come on. And that goes for everything. You can go to school online. You can, everybody knows it's common knowledge. But I think some people just don't utilize it that way. I certainly don't, I try. um, but yeah, social media is crazy. Um, I think it changes people. It really does. So when I was like on tour my first time, I think I was about 23 or something like that. And I remember I had a sidekick. I had a sidekick 2 or something like that. And I had AOL Instant Messenger on there. That was my go-to. I had, what else did I have? I didn't have much, I mean, I had some cool ringtones, maybe some games. Um, Not Facebook. I had MySpace. I was able to update my profile, update the band's profile on tour and all that stuff. But I'll tell you this, like, I have I have like all my pictures from tour on this old laptop, this old MacBook, and I look at it every once in a while. But if I compared those pictures to what, um, I guess someone in an artist now and what they post, it's completely different. And let me explain why. Back then, when we took pictures, it wasn't like our main thing. We didn't take pictures and videos like everybody does now. Everything's recorded now. Everything has a picture, whatever. My pictures back then, I wasn't posting them, or sorry, I wasn't taking them to get a like. Okay, that's the difference. And when you look at stuff like that, I mean, my pictures were stupid. I mean, half the pictures were of me sitting on a couch, and you'll see like a dog or a cat, and this is on tour, and like I'm drinking a beer or something, and I'm watching TV. Those were my pictures. Some of my pictures, it would be like, I remember we found not a dried lake, but a solid lake, and it was just, solid ice. And I went and walked on it, and there's a picture of that. But it's not like this whole drawn out thing where if I went on tour now, I would have a fucking reel, I would have a video, I'd make a meme about it, and this is what? Do I have anything to put on there? Let's see.
Bruh.
That works. We were doing it for different reasons. Sure, I wanted people to see what I was doing. I wanted people to be like, "Oh, he's on tour. That's so fucking cool." I'm not taking that away from what I'm saying, but it was different, completely different. And it's cool to look back at the pictures that I took. I mean, it's just like I said, you're not expecting some reaction or likes out of it, or to get featured, or for it to go viral. That really wasn't the thing back then. But with that said, I do wish we had better technology. I wish that I recorded things more, just because I don't know. It's such a dumb thing to say. I was just living in the moment back then, and I'm complaining about that. But honestly, I do wish I had a little bit more just so I could show people. But I do have stories that I try to remember, and that's rough. But yeah, it was completely different back then. Obviously, nowadays I'm doing what everyone else is doing. You're posting for yourself. Um, you're posting for likes. You're posting for views, and it's okay to like be in competition with people. A healthy competition though, not to where you're, criticizing yourself to the point where you're like, oh, Johnny Appleseed is doing X, Y, and Z, and what am I doing? Right? That could be bad. People get very emotional from things on social. I almost turned my computer off with my foot. Whoa. um, yeah, it's a competition, and I feel like it's an unnecessary competition. Um, and even with me now doing more social media, I feel like I'm doing things for a different reason. Not all the time, but there's always in the back of my head like, oh, let's see who sees this. But I don't know. I don't know if that's healthy. I really don't. But yeah, I do it. Let me say this though. This is kind of funny. I think. I don't go on Facebook a lot. I hate Facebook, but I have it because I know people go on there, and it's just a way for me to get other content out. And also, I can spy on people. I can see what all my friends are doing. That's what I mean. But one of the things that kind of made me giggle the other day, I'm over on Facebook, and I'll go on there like once or twice a day. Half the time I'm posting on Instagram, and then it goes on there. But I'm on there and I'm just like scrolling, and you're scrolling and it starts showing reels and shows like people you should be friends with. It's showing reels, and it's like it's showing like a girl, and she's like half naked, right? I don't know if this is everybody's everybody's algorithm. She's like half naked, and I'm just scrolling, dude. I'm not looking at it, and well, I'm looking at it, but I'm not like on it. And these girls now, and they're obviously they have OnlyFans. It's cool, man. Do your thing. I respect the hustle. I respect the hustle. Will I do OnlyFans? No. I respect the hustle though, and you got to do what you got to do to get people to engage, right? These girls have these videos of them holding like I don't know. Let me fucking grab this. They're holding like say a coffee cup, and they're holding it like this, right? And then they're like, they're going like this and shit, and they're moving around and all that. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're doing, because 95% of the time I'm scrolling and you see, you see a titty.
Now that's a titty. Holy
You see
man.
whatever, right? But I am going to tell these girls this as a typical guy. Um, Guys don't want to play a game. Okay, let me speak for myself. We don't want to play a game to see a titty. If we want to see that, we're gonna go on whatever site and just be done with it. But look, I respect the hustle, but it's just funny to me every time I see that. I'm like, I'm not gonna take the time to sit there and they're like showing a screen or showing a link or a fucking video or a picture off to the side reflecting off a mirror. Like that's too much. That's too much. Me personally, hey, I respect the hustle. I'm not gonna click that though. I just thought I would say that. Um, Take that how you want it. But one thing I will talk about a little bit is social media and dating. Social media and dating is wild. I, I don't even know how accurate this is, but I have met maybe one or two girls on social media, like on a dating app or like on Facebook or something, where we were in a relationship. Okay. Um, I don't like doing that. I don't like having to go on an app or something and see, profile and be like, oh, like, do I want to date this person? To me, it's like to me, it seems fake. It seems super impersonal. You're like, you're obviously going to put your best pictures up, all this stuff. You're going to put everything up so you can show the person the best side of you. That's just what I see on there. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that because you're being real. But it's just very, um, I'll just say in personal, you're making these avatars, and I'm supposed to just be like, yeah, that's me. That sums me up on this one page. I can't even sum myself up on one Facebook page or Instagram. It's just I don't want to take the time. But it's just very, like I said, in personal, and you meet someone online, and I feel like some of them, not all of them, but some of them stick to this avatar that they've created on there, and I'm not. I just think it's it's kind of dumb. Uh, we all do this. We all make ourselves fluff ourselves up to look better than what we are, right? It's human nature, I think. I don't like it. I don't like that. I love meeting people, just naturally, just going out naturally, however you want to say, going to the gym, going on a walk, going to a show. I mean, that's that's natural to me. Also, a lot of these apps, and I'm not even talking about dating apps, but everything's like pay to win now, and that's like a gaming term. You can buy um, different guns on online for these games, right? And some of them are pay to win. You buy the best gun, and you have an advantage over these people. Some of these dating apps, you can boost your posts, boost your pictures and shit. Like, I'm not gonna pay this. I mean, whatever. Some people do that. I mean, this is just my thought, but it's pay to win. I'm gonna go so I can have a cool profile, right? And then no one's looking at my profile. But if I pay $5, you're gonna boost it to show more people. Like, get out of here, dude. Yeah. Another thing that I will say too, social media is the bane of relationships. I think. Um, I've had I've been in some relationships that we had social media and it was fine. And I've been in some where we'd have social media and it was a fucking shit show. Um, I've found that I've met people that, different women that are all about, what you show online. Um, I've been through it. I'm not going to say anything really about that, but I've been where I'm getting criticized because I'm not posting them enough, or like just whatever I'm not doing on social media. Oh, my picture doesn't have my girlfriend in there. Like, oh my god. Oh, you're following so and so. What do you know? How do you know her? I mean, I've heard it all, and I've probably said some stuff like that before, which brings me to the toxic people. How did my friend say it? Toxica. I would tell some of my some of my coworkers some stuff about like my exes or whatever, and they're like, "Damn, like that's fucking toxic." But yeah, I've learned a lot from experience and then that. But yeah, social media can tear relationships apart, and um, I've even seen, and I've done this before when I was a lot younger. You can see when people are fighting on social media. If it's a relationship, you can see the pictures get taken down, unfollowing. Like what else do they do? Like, just there's just a bunch of wild shit you see on there. I've seen people on social media where they're like, posting something about how single they are, and then a week later they're married. Not making that up. So one thing that I've learned is to be very careful what you post online. And I've posted some stupid shit before. I used to be a troll on on social media. Back when I was in my heyday, I was not a nice person, and I would say very mean things. Now I just, man, my allergies. My God. Now I kind of just keep to myself. Honestly, if there's something on social media that I don't like, I just won't look at it. And then if it's something from my friends or whatever, I have to really think hard about it. Like, is it worth keeping them as a friend when they're posting this bullshit? Everyone's allowed to post whatever they want, but it's my choice whether I want to look at it or not. And yeah, a lot of people take it personal. I've taken shit personal. Like, one of the things that I will say, and it's something that I've had to grow and learn, and a lot of people have had to do this, but it's really crazy that when you're doing good or doing your own thing, could be losing weight, you could be trying to gain muscle or something, or like playing in bands, playing shows, whatever you do, something that you're really into and passionate about, you will learn real quick that, you post something online and it's some of your closest friends will watch, look, and all the above, and they won't like it. They won't support it. And it is what it is. And I've done that before. I've had friends that cut hair, have barbershops, people in bands, people starting new companies, whatever, photographers. And, I see them posting stuff saying, like, oh, like, no one supports me and blah, 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 this and that. And, I can relate to that, but to me, if that's your focus, you're doing it for the wrong reason. And look, I've gotten bummed out before. I'm like, man, like, no one's liking this, and um, no one's seeing what I'm doing, and you put all this work into it, and you just don't see, I guess, the payout, But one thing that I will say is that, yeah, that sucks, but I don't think that they're not supporting you. I think it's just like, hey, we all have our own lives. I don't have time to sit here and like all my friends' posts. I don't have time to sit here and repost all my friends' posts. There are things that I can do to support them. I can, friends and artists, I can buy some art. I can, like I'm saying, repost things, which is free. You can do all sorts of things. You can hype them up, a lot of different things. But like I said, I just think you can't take it personal um, when, yeah, your friends, even family, will so like some of your shit. Hey, you just got to do it for the right reason, but do not blame them for that. Uh, I, I, I struggle with shit like that all the time. I'm just like, oh, I put out this sick ass song or something, and no one fucking likes it. It is what it is. But yeah, I think another thing that social media screwed up is that they've incorporated, all these algorithms and all that, and they're posting. So I'm on there to see my friends and some, artists, see what they're doing and whatnot. But when one of my friends that's, say, has like 1,000 followers, whatever, and they have a company, and they're posting like, hey, we just released, say, like these sick ass shirts from my clothing company, and you're seeing that, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest, and this goes to reflect what I'm doing. The stuff that I'm doing, it's mediocre at best, right? I'm not out here saying like, oh, I'm making this badass music. To me, it could be badass, and to other people, it might not be. But when it's mixed, something mediocre mixed in with celebrities and professional artists and this and that, for me and anyone else to see that, you're gonna go straight to the artist, right? You're gonna go to this famous person and like that, even when your friend's posting something similar. That's just what it is. So we're in this fake competition with these famous people. Who wants to be in competition with someone, that's taking lessons to do the stuff or has ghost riders or whatever? You know what I mean? It's like it's wild. But yeah, we're in competition with our friends and these other people. So I understand why no one's over here clicking that shit like, oh, this is so good, You gotta understand, you gotta grow. Um, I will say this too. We are only as smart as our phones. And I'm kind of taking this from something that Elon Musk said, like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years ago. Basically what I said, we're only as smart as our phones, kind of like we're androids, meaning like, we have our brain, we're smart, we can critically think and stuff, but um, if we don't have our phone, it stops somewhere, right? We can only know so much. Back in the day, if you didn't know something, you'd go ask your friend, you'd ask someone else. If you did not find that out from asking, you wouldn't know. You'd have to keep asking some way, somehow. Now, if I want to know anything, what am I going to do? I'm going to Google it, and I'll find it out right now. So I think that takes a toll on your brain and critically thinking, because you're not really relying on it, but like, let's be honest, everybody Googles shit that they don't know, and you find it out right now. We're in the information age. You will find out pretty much anything you need to find out. But it takes away from the critical thinking and, being like a problem solver. You're just, if every time you have a problem you go straight to the internet, that can create a problem. But in retrospect, it can also create something good. So I don't want to end that social media is bad, internet's bad, and all that. There are definitely positives to it and negatives, but I think that that technology, social media, internet, is a good thing. I'm not talking about AI because this is new, but I also think that there's a lot of things we can learn from AI. And I'm not one of these people like, oh, let's just let AI take over and do all this stuff. But I think there are good things that can come out of AI. And I also think there's some very fucked up shit. And one of the things that I'll say, and not even get into, maybe talk another time about it, AI music, I don't support that. And AI art and all that stuff, I'm not a fan of that. But that's for another discussion. But I think that social media and the internet and the information age, I think that is a good thing if you utilize it correctly. And who am I to judge if you're just gonna sit on the pot and watch cat videos all day? Who am I to judge? I mean, some people might do that and they have fun. But yeah, that's just something that I try to limit. I really try to limit. I'm very picky about what I put inside this brain. Yeah, because there's a lot of bad shit out there, but there's a lot of positive out there. So let's take the positives and turn it into something good. That's what I will end with. I let's see what's going on with me. Shit. Oh, so I'm getting stuff. I'm getting new gear to record with. I just got some sweet headsets. I had some like Amazon cheapies forever, and so I got some of these. These are freaking nice. They're open too, so I can hear something on the outside as well. I don't want to just be cut off. They're actually really good. I like them. Let's see, I got to put my strap locks on my LTD, which I haven't done yet. I've used it with a regular strap. I got to put strap locks on there. And then I have one song that I'm working on right now, but then I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to record and put out there. But this new song that I'm making is different. I'm going to take my time with it because a lot of the stuff that I put it out in like a couple days. So yeah, I'm going to try to take my time. But yeah. That is the podcast.
What is this guy? Heard he used to be in a band or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They weren't that good. They toured and stuff. Yeah, they used to call him Sleazy G or something. I don't get it. The Georgezilla Podcast.